continue on while recording. Okay. Hello and welcome to Season 2 of the Nditha Mindset Show with me, Irene Patso. And welcome to the Nditha Mindset Show. This is episode 3, and I'm so thrilled and so excited to be with you right now. In today's show, I'm going to be talking to a woman that I totally respect, and her story, her journey of entrepreneurship is one that is so full of grit and resilience and persistence, and we want to hear from her very own mouth about her story. Welcome to the show. Remember, this is the Nditha Mindset Show, and the Nditha Mindset Show is all about personal development, self-motivation, becoming the best version of yourselves. And we want to highlight our stories, our Malawian stories, because we realize that our stories are powerful. Welcome, Ken, to the show.
Thank you so much.
It is so good to have you here.
It's a pleasure.
Great.
To
Please.
be on Nditha Mindset Show.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, tell me a bit about yourself, the early days. Who is Kenrinie?
Thank you so much, Irene, for inviting me to this show. In short and brief, Kenrinie is the third-born daughter in a family of 7. I was born in 1975, which makes me 45 this year. And I started schooling at Likuni Girls Primary School, then I went to Liberty Private School where I did my Form 4. And in the year 1994, I went into primary school teaching.
Yes.
So I'm a primary school teacher by profession.
Okay.
I went into teaching in 1994 and went into college in 95. And I graduated in 1996. Then I got fully qualified as a primary school teacher. I taught from 1996 up to the year 1999. So I left teaching in 1999 for motherhood.
Yes.
That's when I had my firstborn daughter, who is now 21.
Yes.
I have one child. Yes. So in 1999, I left teaching for motherhood. I wanted to give my all to my daughter. I couldn't just trust on minders, so I had to go full time into motherhood. And while I was still working as a teacher, I used to have time to go out, buy things and resell, because the monies I was getting as a teacher could not sustain me. Okay, so my business journey dates way back from when I was in primary school.
Okay.
When I was in primary school, I could make freezes, I could make popcorn and sell at school. So I grew up in an environment.
Being entrepreneur.
Exactly. That's how I grew up.
Okay.
And my family also is a family of entrepreneurs. So I was born and brought up in a family of entrepreneurs, where our parents would send us to errands and stuff like that. That's Kenrinie.
1999, you decide that, okay, fine, I'm going to leave teaching.
Yes.
Right? 1999.
Yes.
Then tell me about the genesis of you getting into chemicals and starting your business.
Thank you so much. I went into chemicals in the year 2000, full time. Because while I was working as a teacher, I was introduced to a certain product by one of my relatives. So I had to travel to Zimbabwe to get this product.
Yes.
I didn't know Zimbabwe, honestly. This was my first time going into Zimbabwe. Before, I used to just pass by going to South Africa, but this time I had to do business in Zimbabwe. So I got into Zimbabwe. I didn't know where Mazoe is, because I had to go to Mazoe. I didn't realize that from Harare to Mazoe, I had to get into another bus and move for about 100 kilometers also. So I went to that place and got the product.
Yes.
My journey to Mazoe is the genesis of my business. Because when I got to the bus stop, from the bus stop to the factory which was selling the product that I went to get, this was orange oil. I went to Mazoe Citrus to buy orange oil. The journey from the bus stop to Mazoe Citrus oil Mazoe citrus factory was about 3 kilometers. And I walked 3 kilometers from the road to the factory.
Oh my God.
And when I got there, they asked me, how did you get there? I said, I walked from the road, and everyone was surprised. You were all by yourself? I said, yes. I said, okay. And I was walking in between a forest of oranges.
Oh, wow.
So I got there, I got what I wanted, and they gave me a tractor on my way back to actually drop me by the road so that I could actually take it to Harare.
Yes.
Yeah, so I jumped into a tractor with my 3 containers of orange oil, got into the road, and that was the genesis of my business. And since that day, I've never looked back. And I got into Harare, to Malawi. The person who asked me to bring this product was nowhere to be seen. I tried to ask him, tell me, where do I take this product?
Where do I deliver this?
Where do I deliver? He said, no, just wait, the customer hasn't confirmed yet, the customer hasn't confirmed yet. And time was going, and I said, I can't hold this forever. And mind you, I borrowed this money from my brother.
The initial capital to get this product. My brother borrowed me.
Oh my That's gosh. How I started business. Then I was like, I borrowed money, and now these things are just sitting.
Yeah. What do I do?
I'm up to something. And I risked by opening one of the containers, put it in small bottles. Then I had to start walking in town. Who might want orange oil?
Oh my God.
And I remember those Swan Industries, they were making freezers. Those were my first customers on orange oil. Because I knew that this is an oil, but it's a natural extract from oranges. This should be a customer, apart from the other customers who should use it.
Yes.
And yes, when I took it to Swan Industries, they took it and said, yes,
we need this.
We need that. I was like, oh, are you for real? He said, yes, how much do you have? I said, well, I've got 75 liters. And they said, no, give us one container, which was 25.
Yes.
Irene, you should have seen the how bright my face was, rushing back home, got into a taxi, brought the product back to them. They couldn't believe it, because then in Malawi, there was no one doing this product.
Wow.
And now they say, you've got orange oil only. What about strawberry? What about lemon? What about cream soda? What about pineapple? What about banana? I said, no problem. I can actually source that for you.
But at this point, I'm sure you don't know where to get this product.
I didn't know where to get this product, Irene.
But you said, yes, I'm going to be able to find them.
If I manage to get orange oil, I will manage to get the other flavors.
Wow.
And I did it. And I went, brought the products to them. I went into Zimbabwe and started searching. Thank God then we used to have yellow book.
Yes.
Because then I didn't know how to use an internet, I must be honest. There was only phone calls, there was only fax. So I went into yellow book in Harare, started looking for flavor suppliers. I found 3 companies. Out of 3 companies, I zeroed in for one, and I got the products, and I brought them to Malawi.
Wow.
Yes.
If it was somebody else, they would have been afraid. They would have been uncertain to say, okay, so how am I going to get these products? But you left Malawi, went to Zim, found the yellow book in Harare, then started searching.
Exactly.
Where did this belief come from? How?
I must confess that
yes.
I don't give up easily. Be it in business, be it on people, I don't give up. And even that person whom people say, this person, no, there is no hope. I don't give up easily. And it's because of that spirit that I don't give up easily. That's exactly what pushed me to say, you can do it.
Yes.
Go and do it.
Yes.
So I went, and trust me, the other containers of orange oil, by the time I was going back to Zimbabwe, were sold. Wow. One of them I remember clearly well, 2 of them clearly well, I sold it to Beckmans.
Yes. You don't forget your first clients.
No, you So I sold in Chipamba at Beckman's. When they saw me coming with a sample of orange oil, they couldn't believe it. And they said, yes, we can use it. I sold it to them. By the time I was going down to Zimbabwe, I didn't need only the orange oil.
You had other products.
I had other things. And you can actually see now that my product line already
starts expanding
from a customer.
Yes.
And through word of mouth, these customers started telling another to another. My coming into business this time around helped the customers, the manufacturers, to actually break the system of keeping bulk stocks. Because what most of the suppliers then used to do was like, okay, you want to buy so much, you buy so much of this, so much of this, so much of this. So they used to buy in bulk.
Yeah.
So my coming into the business helped them to reduce holding stocks. So in turn, I was the one holding stocks for them and supplying. From the word go when I started business, I was able to hold stock. Because remember, I started business when I was still teaching. So there was no way I was going to be going again and again. So I used to keep some of these things.
In preparation for the orders to come in. Yeah.
Uncertain orders. I didn't know when they were coming, but still they were coming.
Yes.
And through word of mouth, these manufacturers of freezers started telling each other, you're looking for this flavor, talk to this lady, she can supply. Then they started telling me about other products, preservatives, sweeteners. My product range started growing. So my background started with food additives, then it got into other chemical additives into the food industry, then it went into other chemicals also for cleaning in the food industry. So with time, our product range started growing.
Yes.
Up until now, when we can actually boast of representing global companies like Ecolab. Ecolab is a global company. It's an American company with offices in South Africa, and I am their sole distributor in Malawi. Yes.
Wow. From very humble beginnings.
It is from a humble beginning. It doesn't need much for a person to establish himself into business, all himself into business. It just requires you to have the love of the job.
Okay.
What you're doing, you have to love it. You have to put your all. By so doing, you will find that your customers will appreciate the service that you're giving them. And even for things that you don't supply, they get from other people, they will start asking you to actually open up and supply them those things. That's how my product line grew. And I must say here that I walk into ShopRite or I walk into a supermarket and I find there's a product on that corner, there's a product on that shelf where I have an input. I always say, thank God.
Yes.
Because as small as I am, as Kenrinie, and able to make a difference to a certain degree in the manufacturing industry, I took it as a blessing, and I always thank God for that. And some people ask me, but you say you can supply us things for making yogurt, you can supply us things for making dishwashing liquid. Why don't you get into it yourself? Yeah, but you can't do everything.
Yeah.
You have to let other people do other things. If I'm into raw materials supplies, then at the same time I should go into manufacturing. It will mean that my customers who are buying things from me will not be able to compete with me. Because it's like I'm competing with my own customers. It's like I'm competing with myself. What do I gain? In the end, I lose my customers. I kill their businesses. It's good to concentrate on one thing so that you focus, you're able to deliver, and you also satisfy your customers' needs. However, there are other areas where you actually see that there is a gap. Those are the areas that we are actually now going into manufacturing.
Yes.
So we are into manufacturing of disinfectants, especially this time around where there is the COVID. So we are doing disinfectants. We are doing hand sanitizer. So we're doing hand sanitizer in liquid. We're doing hand sanitizer gel. Yeah, we're doing hand soap. We're doing dishwashing liquid. So we're doing all these things also in bulk.
Yes.
We just acquired a facility for manufacturing, and it's now set. Sooner or later, we are going full throttle into it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, we are already manufacturing on a very small scale, but surely soon we are going to go into full throttle. Yes.
Wow. So that's where we are now. But as taking you back to the early days and the 1999s and early 2000s, at what point did you then start realizing that this thing that you had, that you had gotten into was going to be the thing that you're going to do for the rest of your life? It was almost like your purpose. At what point do you decide, wow, this is working and I can go into it full throttle? What are some of the things that happened? What were some of the indicators?
Through the road, there were challenges, but these challenges had to be overcome.
Yes.
There was a time when I went bankrupt.
Really?
So I'm saying this so that those listening should know that in business, you are likely going to face challenges. And those challenges are only meant to strengthen you and not to weaken you. Yes, I went back into working.
You did?
Yes, I did. I remember clearly well, in the year 2001, I went back into working because I went bankrupt. Now my customer in Zimbabwe was asking me, you are no longer coming to buy. What is going on? I said, well, I bent my fingers in one of the deals, so I'm not able to supply because the customer went away with my money. In 2001, I lost close to $2,000.
And that was massive amounts of money then.
Yes, that was my whole life. So this supplier said to me, Kenrinie, what about we supply you? Then you pay us back.
Yes.
Then I wasn't very sure because remember this time now I had a small baby.
Yeah.
And I was also giving much of my time to my baby. Then I said, you know what, traveling is going to be very difficult for me now. Then they said, okay, how do we do this? Then I said to them, fine, you can open an office in Malawi, then I can manage you. Then they appointed me as a director for this business. Yes, I was appointed the director for a company called KenChem. So I worked for KenChem from 2001 up until 2005, 6. So that was a good 5 years.
Yes.
Trust me, I wasn't working for KenChem just for money, but it was a learning process. Remember, this is the food industry.
Yes.
And I had to understand what is a flavor, how does a flavor work, how do you test flavor strength, how do you test the smell, the feel. So about flavor, there's so much. So I had to learn. So I worked with them for 5 years, and these 5 years for me was a learning process. So in life, there is something that I believe, you don't just work for money. No. Don't just work for money. Work to learn.
That is such a brilliant point.
Yes. Work to learn.
Because most of us sometimes when we're working, we're not saying working is bad. It's actually good because it is what supplies you sometimes the capital that you need for you to start your side hustle or to start your business. But you don't take it as an end in itself. It's supposed to be a means to an end. Right?
Exactly. Look for a job that can help you to develop the skills, systems, and people, rather than just pay you well. No. Do you know where I learned this? from Robert Kiyosaki.
Rich dad,
poor
poor dad.
poor dad, rich daddy. Rich daddy, poor daddy.
Yes.
Yeah. That's where I learned from.
And you took it and applied it.
I took it and applied it.
Because it's also not enough to just read the books and say, I've got a pile of books that I've read, but you're not applying what you're learning in your own life.
Exactly. So I applied this in my life.
Yes.
I had time. Then I used to have time to read books.
Yes.
So I could understand other people's experiences, what they've gone through, what they're doing. So that's exactly what I also spend my time doing.
Yes.
I also do spend my time reading books and getting to understand what other people are doing.
Even up to now.
Yes, I do. Once in a while I'll pick a book
Yes.
and read and get to understand things.
Mm-hmm.
So my learning process didn't stop there.
Yes.
It wasn't only in flavors. I went on to get to understand real chemicals for water treatment,
Yes.
real chemicals for running a complete brewery, real chemicals for actually running a daily. What chemicals do they need? What chemicals do they need in the hospitality industry, in a hotel? What chemicals do they need? So all those chemicals, it's kind of a one-stop
Yes.
shop.
You've got a good understanding of all these chemicals.
Yes. Because when my customers are buying chemicals, it's not just about selling a product. You are actually selling an intervention. You are selling a solution to a situation.
Yes.
Because when you're selling a chemical, it means your chemical is going to solve something which is lacking on your customer.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to make sure that your customer understands the chemical. Your customer knows how to handle it,
Mm-hmm.
how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about supply. It's about service delivery as well.
Yes.
You have to know that your customer understands the product. I get a lot of customers coming to me, we're looking for this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, what do you do? Some of them will shy away,
Yeah.
not wanting to share with me what they do. But I'm not trying to probe so that I learn something from them.
Mm-hmm.
I do that because I want to make sure that they understand. I'm saying this because there is a tendency in Malawi.
Mm-hmm.
If I see you making yogurt and you are doing very well, everyone else will want to do yogurt.
Exactly.
If you're doing freezes and you're doing very well in freezes, everyone wants to do freezes. You're doing dishwashing liquid, you're doing pine gel, you're doing toilet cleaners.
Mm-hmm.
They want to do that. Because someone, maybe one of your workers told them, it's easy, you can do it. As a result, you find that there's so many products on the market, but not of good quality.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure, as long as I'm there, a customer comes, I'll try to engage them in a conversation. You'll find that my office is not far from the front office.
I've seen it.
For a purpose.
It's right there, yeah.
For a purpose. Because I want my customers to benefit from my product.
Mm-hmm.
Because they'll take it and not use it properly and they'll say, no, that product, they mixed it with something. No, that product, they did that.
Mm-hmm.
No. So we do that. I do that to make sure that these customers understand what they're doing. And for those customers really who don't know how to use them, maybe they just heard partially, I'm always very free and flexible to share with them some of the knowledge I have.
Yes.
With time, since I started doing business, I've learned a lot.
Yes. I mean, you've been doing this for 2 decades.
Yes.
It's not a job.
Yeah, 20 years. So I've learned a lot.
Yes.
And me, I benefited a lot from a lot of companies.
Yes.
Let's say in South Africa, I've got to one supplier, and this supplier is supplying cartridges for yogurt. It means he's also supplying a lot of things for the dairy industry.
Yes.
Yes, I usually used to ask for literature.
Yes.
So I'll get the literature. It means you can make cheese, you can make amasi, or what they call chamiko.
Yes.
You can make mahewu, you can make cheese. So all those literatures have been collected. So it's easy. If someone comes to me, I want to do this.
You have the information.
I have the information for them.
The
I can
information.
share. But now some people start looking at it. Are you for real? Yes, I'm for real. I can share that information for free. I didn't pay a cent to get that information. What I paid is to buy their products. In the course of buying their products, I gained information. And how it's benefiting me is because I gain information. I'm going to impart the same information with someone, and that someone is interested not only in this product that I was buying, but in another product. Then I'll be able to have an intervention for their product.
Exactly.
Such being the case, I'm broadening up my product line.
Yes.
That's how it works.
It's like you're adding value to the whole value chain, and the more you give access to more people, more entrepreneurs to start manufacturing, it means that for you the business is also going to be booming, because you're going to have the clientele to buy your chemicals.
I'll take you back to the Bible. The Bible says, you give and you will get.
Yes.
That's the principle.
It's a principle, yes.
I give information for free. I will get business in 10. I lose nothing.
Wow. Just a reminder, guys, that this is the Nditha Mindset Show, and thank you so much for being there and watching the show. I hope that you're going to gain a lot of value and wisdom drops from this interaction with Kenrinie Makutu Chipamba, who is the managing director of KenChem. And just to also advise you on and let you know that we're shooting the show at the beautiful Annie's Lodge, Blantyre. If you want a place where you can come and just work in a very secluded place, and you're not going to the office, you want to work somewhere nice and easy and beautiful, come to Annie's Lodge, Blantyre. And getting back into the show, Ken, I've interacted with some of my friends, some of like Dingi, the proprietor of Kombeza, and she mentioned that you helped her when she was just beginning. Why is it important? Of course, we've talked about it a little bit, but why is it important that you hold the hands of the small entrepreneurs that are coming up on the market?
Irene, I know the challenges that people face when they have a dream.
Yeah.
You will have a dream, and if you share that dream with someone who really cares less about your dream, surely they'll tell you, but no one else has done it. Why are you wasting your time? But if you share it with someone who knows someone who can help you, it's a blessing.
Yes.
So that's why it's good sometimes to share. My interaction with Dingi came about because of networking. So
very important.
Networking in business or when you are trying to venture into something is very important. I remember there was a time I attended beach night at Mount Sochi Hotel.
Yes.
And I got an invitation to go to the hub by Lady Nisia Chilenga.
Yes.
Then she invited me to have a talk with ladies. And it was during this talk that I spoke about what I do, and it's where Dingi was. And when she was faced with a lot of milk, which she could not do anything with, she remembered that I shared with her that I can support with interventions for different manufacturers. So she came to me and said, Kenrinie, I've got milk. I've got nothing to do with it. I said, are you crazy? There's so much you can do with milk. She said, what can I do? And I said, okay, fine. Find me at the office. I know I've got some literature about yogurt making, and I've got contacts of companies that can actually support you with trainings if you want to go for further training. Because what I knew was just basic. But someone needs to go, if you're serious to go into business, you have to search for in-depth details about what you are venturing into.
I've got that. Search for in-depth details.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you will know things which are just there on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
But every business has got its challenges. So there are the do's and the don'ts in business, especially in food production.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be very careful.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're in food production and you produce something, then it poisons people. What happens?
Yeah. Huge problem.
Huge problem. That's
Yeah.
a big loss.
Yeah.
You can be sued.
Mm-hmm.
You can be sued for that. So yeah, I share the information, and whenever I see Kombeza Dingy, if you're listening, girl, go.
Yes.
The sky is not the limit. You have to break it. Go. Soar like an eagle. Truly, we Malawians can do it.
Yes, we can. Nditha. Yes, we can.
Nditha.
Yes.
Nditha,
We can manufacture
do it.
these things.
Exactly. So when I see people growing from small to big to large, that is what gives me joy. When I see my small customers growing, today they come buy a kilo, tomorrow they buy 1 liter, 10 kilos, 10 liters. It's an indication that things are growing.
Yes.
As they grow, I also grow. It's a blessing. And
Yes, it is.
if Malawi is to develop and prosper, we need a lot of manufacturing to be done in Malawi,
Yes.
by Malawians, owned by Malawians. Our money, we will eat it here, we will share it with our families here, we will employ our local people. It is our nation. No one is going to develop Malawi if we don't do it.
Exactly. We have to rise up. This
We
is the
have to
time.
rise, and this
Now
is
is
the
the
time.
perfect time to do
Exactly.
this.
This is the perfect time to do it. And with internet, I thank God with those people now who are starting business now. There's just so much information out there. So much information out there. So much that people can actually gain a lot of insight. The in-depth information that we're talking of. You don't need to travel to South Africa, India, or China to get this information.
It's right on your phone.
I've done a lot of traveling.
Yes.
I've attended a lot of trade shows. I've spent so much to get the information that I have. But with internet, it's just on your fingertips.
Yes.
You get all this information.
Yes.
So my time in business, I have spent it on traveling, learning new things, learning new products, visiting companies and facilities, and this has actually broadened my mind and my way of looking at things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looking back
Yes.
on your journey, would you change anything?
Honestly, I wouldn't really change anything, Pinky. Irene. Probably my focus now is more to have my own facility. Warehousing is very expensive in Malawi.
Yes.
Renting in a commercial city like Atlanta is not cheap. Owning a warehouse where you have customers who are using tons and tons of goods in a month, and you have to import all these things, hold them in one facility to make sure that your customers are well looked after, is not an easy thing. So I can say, if I am to change anything now, is I have to put up my own warehouse facility.
Yes.
And if I am to lobby the government now, is to put up facilities where small-scale entrepreneurs can rent.
Okay.
Warehousing, small-scale entrepreneurs can rent and operate from. We have facilities here in Blanta which are lying idle, not actually doing the purpose. You know, there's a facility in Makutu where there used to be Sedom or something. It's a big facility which, if government puts something in place, it can cater for a lot of people. It can save a lot of SMEs, and they can develop. And people can proudly say, I'm running a business.
Yes.
Coming from a well set up facility. That's what we need. We need that support.
I'm sure the right people someday I can look
I
at
hope
this
they're
and
listening,
going,
and
yes.
it will go into the right people, into the right offices, so they can actually look into that. Yeah.
As we are drawing closer to the end of the show, what would be some of your tips to women or men, everyone who is trying to make something out of their lives and they're going through a difficult time right now? What would you say to them?
I would say we need not to give up.
Yeah.
If you have a dream, truly, that dream doesn't come from nowhere. It's because you have something is inspiring you to go for it. Go for it. Listen to your inner spirit. What your inner soul is telling you all the time is very important. Sometimes we get so carried away and so busy with life and things that we forget to listen to what is being said in us. Remember, I'm a Christian, and I believe that the Spirit always speaks to us.
Yes.
In the quietness of our time, truly we get a whisper. Yes. That moment, if something clicks in your mind, grab it, put it on paper, and say, okay, so how do I go about this?
How do I go about this?
Search and look for people who can give you the right information. People deny each other information. It's wrong. If someone wants to do something and you have an idea as to what they can do and how they can go about it, share it with others. Let them know.
Yeah.
You cannot do everything in life. I cannot be a chemical supplier. I cannot be a manufacturer. I cannot be a cleaning company, because with what I do, I can be
you can actually do all those things.
I can be a cleaning company. I can be a manufacturer of anything, detergents, whatever. I can repack whatever I do. No. If others want to do it,
share the information.
So at Kenrinie Investments, we have the interventions. We buy goods in bulk. We buy goods in bulk and we repack into smaller quantities. So this is an advantage to a lot of small-scale entrepreneurs, because we repack them. In flavors are very expensive. We repack from 100 mils.
The smallest that you can
have. The smallest that you can have, so that that small person intending to venture into a business can afford it. So we repack, we buy in bulk. We've got customers who buy our things in bulk. We give them in bulk. But we also say Malawians need to be catered for.
Yes.
So we also cater for the smallest person from the corner of the street. We cater for them.
Well done for them.
Yeah, we cater for them, because I know how hard it was for me to get into business.
Yes.
So I always think of that person who is just starting up. They need the products, they need the intervention, and they should get them. And you should supply them with the right materials.
Yes.
Because buying materials is something else. And buying the right materials is
another story.
It's another story, which is very important.
So where do people find you guys?
Okay, we are in Christwick, opposite Suncrest, in a building which used to house chemicals and marketing.
Okay.
That's where we are.
Okay.
On Kidney Crescent Road, number 14 Kidney Crescent Road.
Okay.
That's where we are.
Okay.
And we supply those who are in the food industry, you're making tomato sauce, you're making vinegars, you're making crisps, name it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to flavor your popcorns that you make on the corner of the street, we will supply you. You're making dishwashing liquids, we will supply you with all the chemicals, all the intervention. You're making your pine gels, everything.
Yes.
We supply that.
Okay.
We also supply to the big industries, the companies
Yes.
that are into beverage.
Okay.
Okay, those making squashes, those making drinks, those making mahewu. We've got interventions for those.
Okay.
Those companies that have got boilers, the companies that have got cooling towers, we've got interventions for those equipment as well.
Okay.
So those who are also into hand sanitizer manufacturing, we have interventions for them. In the hotels, we've got interventions for their cleaning system. So all those interventions, they're found under one roof. We normally keep stocks for our big clients, 3 months cover. So our warehouse is going to accommodate stock for our big customers 3 months. Instead of them tying their money in stocks, they should let us do the work for them.
Yes.
We will stock up for them. They should concentrate in production. We will do the running around, sourcing chemicals, bringing them together. By so doing, we are able to enjoy good discounts from suppliers. So our products lands in Malawi at a cost-effective price.
Yes.
The likes of caustic soda for the refinery industries, we've got all those interventions for them. The bleaching earth for the soap making industry, we have all those interventions.
Wow.
The cosmetic industry, we have all those interventions.
Wow.
Yes.
Yay! She has unpacked everything that they have at KenChem, and I hope that you find and pick something that you can actually drive by on Monday, like drive to Kenrinie, to KenChem and see her and talk to her and get your business up and running. Or if you're looking for these supplies and you didn't know that they're readily available, you can contact them and get your act together. Otherwise, Ken, it has been such a pleasure having you. I know that there's so much that we could have talked about, but I will have you in a seminar where we're going to have all the lady entrepreneurs come in and we can have an in-depth discussion regarding some of the challenges that you've overcome and, best practice in terms of how to keep it going, because keeping it going for 2 decades is not a job.
Yeah. I started this when I was very young, and running around was not very difficult. I used to be a runner, I used to run. And when I see young people now doing things, they inspire me because it reminds me of those days when we used to get on a bus. I could go to South Africa, like in a month I would go 3-4 times. So it wasn't easy, but yes, with time, business grows. As business grows, you impart knowledge to others, and yes, we are ready to share information with those who want to learn more, who wants to understand something about a specific production line that they want to venture into. They're most welcome. I'm ready to share that information.
Great. Guys, you've heard it all for yourselves. Thank you so much for having been there and watching the Nditha Mindset show. And until next time, I'm Irene Mphatso of Nditha Mindset. It's been a pleasure, and I wish you a lovely weekend, and keep on keeping on. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome.
So amazing.